you wondering when is the best time to start your seeds? Well, you're not the only one, and today I want to help clarify a few things so you can confidently start seeds at the right time for you. One of the most common questions I get asked from beginner gardeners, or you see posted on the message boards, is when do I start my tomato seeds, or when do I start my seeds? And you'll get answers everywhere from, I started that 2 weeks ago, to, oh no, it's way too early to start that. This can be quite confusing, and even as an experienced gardener, I get, that fear of missing out, thinking, I need to start my seeds. But don't worry, it's not too late, we still have lots of time. My best advice is to follow what it says on your seed packet or in the seed company's website, because this will give you the optimum time where you can have kind of like the least effort, most success, I find. A big thing has to do with experience. As you get more experience in the garden, you try to push states, try to get an earlier harvest and everything, nice big plants. And even with experience, that doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. Besides experience, starting seeds also is affected by your indoor growing space and your time. So if you have a really nice big indoor growing space, lots of light, lots of time, starting things early might work really well for you. But again, the earlier you start things, the more time you're going to have to put into it and potting things up. So sometimes you have to balance. Is starting things 2-3 weeks earlier worth all that effort and time? And getting that harvest, you might get 4 or 5 tomatoes 2 weeks earlier. Is it worth it? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. You make that decision for yourself. Another factor that affects me is if it's a perennial versus an annual. So annuals, you plant them and they grow and then you harvest and they're gone. Perennials come back all the time. So you have a lot more leeway with perennials. A lot of the seed packets will say sow after last frost. But you can kind of start those early. They're meant to kind of die back. You can cut them back so they don't get too big. So there's a lot more you can experiment with the perennials versus the annuals. And then lastly, with starting seeds is your germination. If you have older seeds that aren't going to germinate as well or fast, I will sometimes start those a little bit earlier just to see, or if they take a long time to germinate. Again, your seed packets will usually say days to sprout, and this means from when you plant it to when it's going to start sprouting out of the soil. Some of them are 3 to 4 days, whereas other things, like I'm going to be starting some lavender, it's 28 days it can take to sprout. So those things with the long sprout date, I will try to start maybe a couple weeks earlier than they say. So to sum it up, I just highly suggest is following those directions on your seed packet, and then as you get more experience, you can experiment. And if you have older seeds or ones that take a long time to germinate or perennials, you can start those a little bit earlier. And check out my video where I bust 5 garden myths all about seeds. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.